Hello, and thanks for watching another episode of ARFCOM News. Today I want to tell you about the most exciting thing to happen to guns since St. Browning brought the 1911 down from Mount Armalite. Plus, lots more. But before we get started, I want to tell you about the fine mahogany night vision products with custom Corinthian leather trim brought to you by our friends at tnvc.com. Artfully handcrafted by earnest, hardworking Amish operators, TNVC night vision is unique and uncompromising, just like you.
My God! Okay, it's happening. Everybody stay calm.
What's the procedure, everyone? What's the procedure?
Stay calm!
Wait.
Everybody calm down!
It's coming! It's real! And it's not the 1st of April! The German publication Spartanat broke the news that Glock filed a patent for a carbine. I know when you saw the title for this video, you probably checked the date. I know I did when I heard the news. But this looks to be legit. It's been a running joke in the Pew sphere for decades. Every April Fool's and in the weeks prior to every SHOT Show. And honestly, many of us have unironically been hoping Glock would produce a carbine for quite some time. Hypothetically, anything Glock makes should have a decent balance of cost and quality. I expect anything they make to be functional, boring, and extremely reliable. I don't consider myself to be a fanboy, but I do own a G27, G23, G22, and G20, and I've been carrying that G23 for the better part of 2 decades, to the point it's beaten stupid, so take that for what you will. Glocks aren't necessarily better than many other handguns, they're just kind of standard.
You're all individuals! Yes, we're all individuals!
And I don't expect a Glock carbine to be any better either. But I am excited to see what they produce. I always expected if Glock ever did make a carbine, it would be in a pistol caliber and obviously take Glock magazines. Based on these drawings, it superficially looks kinda AR-ish, but it's quite obviously a very different operating system inside. And it looks as though it will probably be chambered in 5.56 and 300 blackout. So, ironically, it won't be using Glock mags.
Oh. Does it take Glock mags? And do these take Glock mags? Does it take Glock mags?
Unless, of course, Glock starts making AR pattern magazines. I can't imagine they would be foolish enough not to use Stanag mags, so it's entirely possible we could also see some Glock manufactured AR mags come out of this whole thing. And that on its own is kind of neat. But we haven't seen any patent applications for a Glock AR mag, so that's pure speculation on my part. As I mentioned, there are passing visual similarities to the AR, of course. For example, the bolt face is a multi-lug pattern, somewhat reminiscent of the AR, but Stoner wasn't exactly the first to use that arrangement anyway. It does look like there are a small number of parts, but some of the parts look like they would require very complicated machining. That might not bode well for the cost in the end. The bolt and carrier look to be relatively low mass. Less reciprocating mass should mean low felt recoil. It appears it will have a quick change, free-floated barrel also. The patent describes the gas system as mid-stroke, meaning the gas piston moves farther than what is traditionally considered short stroke, but it also doesn't travel the full distance with the bolt carrier. And through some kind of weird Austrian space magic, apparently the ring seen here with the holes in it is the gas piston. I can't go into detail about the operation of the carbine here in this video, and I'd be lying if I said I fully understand it myself, but it does appear to be something very different from any existing design. If you want to really dive into the details of the patent drawings and how the new carbine is expected to work, check out Spartanat's video on it, which we have linked down there in the doobly-doo. But the real questions on your lips are, how much and when can I have one, am I right? Well, this is just a patent application. Glock hasn't released any statement about it, and we don't even know if there are working prototypes in existence yet. It's entirely possible this will never come to market, but I sure hope it does. There's another new and interesting carbine I'm keeping my eye on. We recently received an email from Omega Arms Research regarding a new pump-action AR upper they're working on. Back during the dark days of the assault weapons ban, I saw a few pump-action AK pattern rifles, although I never had the chance to shoot one. I don't think I've ever seen another pump-action AR though. Now, Troy does make a pump-action rifle, which looks a lot like an AR, but internally, it's quite a bit different. This appears to be a more or less standard AR upper, which fits any standard AR lower, but the gas system is replaced with a manual pump-action forearm. Why in the world would anyone want such a thing, you ask? Well, the obvious reason is that manually operated arms entirely sidestep any laws regarding semi-auto rifles. It isn't semi-auto, therefore restrictions on magazine capacity, pistol grips, collapsing or folding stocks, or any other naughty features typically covered by so-called assault weapon bans simply don't apply. Now, I'm not a lawyer, because I don't even have horns, so this doesn't constitute legal advice, but to the best of my knowledge, manually operated firearms are exempt from bans in California and other states, and they would likely be exempt from any future federal ban. A pump action is only a little bit slower than a semi-auto up close. It's fast enough to be an effective defense tool anyway, and at medium to long range, pump actions really aren't slower at all. As an added bonus, you get absolutely zero port or action noise when shooting suppressed, so even if you live in a free state, this kind of thing might be a little handy. And because it doesn't require a recoil spring, it can accommodate a folding stock easily. Since it's just a spare upper, maybe it's worthwhile to keep one around. Unfortunately, the PDF Omega emailed me doesn't show a lot of detail, and it looks like they're still in an early prototype stage, but it appears to have a slide release button on the left side of the forearm. We replied to their email and asked for a T&E sample to review, so stay tuned. Well, friends, that's all I have for you today. I hope you enjoy watching these things because I sure do like making them for you. Remember, kids, if you are not subscribed to the ARFCOM YouTube channel, you make puppies cry and Captain America is disappointed in you. So be sure to hit that subscribe button and ring the bell to stay in the know on all the 2A news. If you want to help us keep bringing you banger content like this, please support the folks who support us. Not only does TNVC.com give you night vision with that cool, refreshing, never bitter taste that goes down smooth, they also have mounts, lights, and all sorts of other gear to make you the bump in the night. I love you.